אמא לפי תהילתך, אמא לפי תהילתך, כל היום תפארתך, תשליכני לעת זקנה, ככלות כוחי אל תעזבני, ככלות כוחי אל תעזבני, אל
We are here at the Aliyah Mega event with Nefesh B'Nefesh, the 2015 edition of the Aliyah Mega event. And I am told that we are live on both NachumSegal.com, jmnam.org. You can also get us on the NSN app, of course. In addition to that, if you go to NachumSegal.com right now, you can watch all the proceedings. You can actually see Rabbi Fass in all his glory. If you go to NachumSegal.com right now, the video is up, and I thank ZK for taking care of the whole thing. Welcome, everybody. Welcome if you're here in the building at the Crown Plaza in New York City, and welcome if you're listening from around the world, especially if you're in North America, where Nefesh B'Nefesh has had an incredible impact over the last 13 years. 42,000 Olim, believe it or not. 52 chartered flights. I think we've been on most of them. Yes, correct. We were on most of them, and then we made our way back here to the U.S.
Doesn't count.
One day that's going to end. One day we're going to break that vicious cycle. Rabbi Josh Yoshua Fass is, of course, the founder and executive director of Nefesh B'Nefesh and joins us to kick things off. Rabbi Fass, welcome back to the Nachum Segal Network.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nice to see you. First of all, I love the campaign. I said this to you before the show even started. Make yourself at home. You want people to realize they can be very comfortable in Israel. They don't have to think it's a struggle, a difficult transition, a very tough start over there. They could really, literally feel at home once they get to Aretz.
It was, besides the comfort and the availability and the viability for it, we also wanted to show that the iconic pictures of what Israel is for individuals can actually be their setting for their house.
Right.
And that's why we schlepped this couch throughout.
You're serious?
Yeah, no.
This is not Photoshopped.
This is not Photoshopped.
Anybody who has seen this, and I'm sure thousands have, anybody who's seen it, it literally is a couch that they put in real scenes.
In the shuk, on the beach.
We all assume.
No, this is not Photoshop.
What was the shoot like then? It must have turned some heads, I would assume.
It was hysterical.
I mean, I can imagine. Are there outtakes of this?
I'm sure there are. We'll provide that for you after the mega.
Everyone assume. I shouldn't say everyone. Certainly, people like myself assume that it was all done by computer, imagery and all that. Wow.
Real shots.
If you're watching from around the world at NachumSegal.com, this is what we're referring to. We're referring to one of many. This is one of many of couches that were put in iconic scenes in Israel. There are people, by the way, who end up in apartments, I shouldn't say end up, who proceed to apartments and houses where they do have views like this in Israel. They have incredible
Not the couches,
views.
though.
Right, the couches are not being provided, but they can certainly get their own. So make yourself at home. They took it literally and took these couches and let families sit and enjoy the scenery, and it must have been pretty amazing. I'm sure people walking by could. Although in Israel sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that you plant a couch in the middle of the shuk and on the beach side. Yes,
and it's not
it
that
is a
big
usual
of a deal.
practice.
Right?
No one thought it was odd at all.
I'm telling you, I would think that most people. By the way, they share this with New York. that sometimes you'll go through New York and there'll be a very odd scene, and it won't seem so odd to actually turn heads. I could see that happening in Israel as well. So 42,000 Olim, 52 chartered Aliyah flights, and yet this room is filling up again. Anybody who's listening hears in the background all the talking and all the conversation going on about moving to Israel. There's so many different topics being discussed here today. How do you explain it? Wouldn't you think after 13 years, all those who are passionate about going to Israel have done so already?
No, not at all. And the more people move to Israel, the more their family and friends will follow in their footsteps. And the more that they successfully integrate into Israel, then obviously they'll be promoting and be ambassadors for Aliyah as well. And we see this every single year. The mega event throughout the whole week, all the mega events throughout all the different states have received an increase. But the New York one especially. Last year we had 800 people, 850 coming throughout the day. We have over 1,100 people registered as of last night.
Wow.
And there's a whole line of individuals who did not register, and they're registering right now.
They want to get in.
So it's going to be a very exciting day, and I hope they get there. Serviced and inspired and educated and get the guidance that they seek.
I'm just over enthusiastic. That's why I'm interrupting. I thought of this yesterday. There are people who run events in the Jewish world who would love for there really to be a cross-section of individuals who attend, from little kids or, reasonably young kids all the way to people in their 80s and 90s. This might be one of the few Jewish events that legitimately does attract people from, again, teenagers or those who are, set to make a commitment to the Israeli army, moving to Israel themselves, etc., all the way to people in their 80s and 90s. You've had 90-year-old Olim, and today you will see all that. You'll see teens all the way up into their 90s.
Go to the registration desk, and you just see a complete spectrum, complete diversity of the Jewish population outside. It's incredible. Young kids and elderly and religious and secular. It's incredible.
And one might think that you and your staff would encourage people in certain age groups or really work hard to get certain age groups to get to Israel and possibly on a limited basis ignore some of the other groups. After all, people who might be in their retirement years may not be able to give as much to the land and to the state as others. But no, that's not the case at all. You're encouraging everybody as much as possible.
We're service providers, and that means that our staff has to be equipped to guide and assist every single sector within our Jewish population. And we also pride on the fact that this might be a unifying factor within our Jewish population. Right. That there's so much diversity out there, and there's actually a shared commonality of spirit, of idealism, of people wanting to move to Israel. So instead of making it a sector or partisan or a specific audience,
yeah. Oh, there we go. I got power now.
You unify the population.
Maybe, in fact, someone did hit that. Who
I'm
knows?
not even near it.
Anyway, first of all, an amazing list of choices for the Bonei Tzion Awards this year.
Thank you.
Look, every year that you've had it, you've done a good job.
It was very difficult this year.
You're telling me that there are even other qualified people qualified as these?
It was so difficult. At the end...
It doesn't make sense. How many wonderful folks are in Israel that are filling positions like this and doing such incredible work? Rabbi Dr. Seth Farber, John Medved, Professor Charles Sprung, Usher Weil, Asaf Stein, I should say Dr. Asaf Stein, Chana Reifman-Zwider, Tal Brody, who I can't believe he wasn't in the first class of Bonei Tzion awardees. What an amazing choice. He's one of the greatest ambassadors Israel has.
Correct. So we started last year. There are certain individuals who are just have been incredible personalities in Israel, and we decided to give a lifetime achievements. We did that for Professor Glick this year, and we wanted to make sure that he received the honor. And this year it was hands down for Tal, and it'll be interesting to see who receives it next year. But it's so inspiring. Sitting around the room also with personalities themselves who have been awarded and have been in positions and discussing for them to see who they value and their anecdotes that they brought to the table. And the diversity in that room is exceptional.
Oh, I thought your point was that they all were recommending other people and were uncomfortable themselves taking the award.
No, then I started off the day as I did last year. I said, you all deserve awards, but we're not here for you. So let's just open up the teaks and open a file. If you want to be awarded, then leave now and come back for next year. And they're like, okay.
Then they might be eligible.
They might be eligible.
But I would assume, but just emphasizing my point, that these 7 that I mentioned were probably uncomfortable receiving the award.
I'm sure.
They appreciate it, but you know how it is.
They were
They were humbled by it. Let's put it.
They're humble, but it's fascinating to see that when you recognize the challenges overcome and the sacrifices that people have made and the impact, were very, very moved by it.
All right. Did Tal Brody mention that there was no Nefesh B'Nefesh when he made Aliyah?
Countless times.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And no, but it really buttressed the whole fact why we have it. Not only that we want to promote North American or Anglo influence within Israel and also give Hakarat Tov, but also just to give a sense for those individuals that they've accomplished something.
Well deserved. Well deserved, and we'll make a big deal about it as we get closer to the event. And I just satisfy my fascination with sports and this whole thing. Is there any better ambassador? Better's a wrong word. Who could be equal to Tal Brody in terms of lifetime ambassador of North Americans to Israel? Is there anybody else that you could? I mean, you mentioned
2016. There'll be a lifetime achievement.
Because I believe he may be, all in all, the best ambassador for North America.
You think so?
I just thought it was such a natural choice. I'm commending you for an incredible choice. I think he's just. Is there anybody who could attract so many different segments?
I look forward to surprising you next year.
There'll be an even better one.
No, better, but equal.
Maybe we'll make you the ambassador next year.
Then I have to leave, and I can't even conduct a whole search.
You can't even be at the meetings. That would be a shame.
Can't pass on the good brunch.
That would be terrible. 5,000 Olim have become soldiers through Nefesh B'Nefesh in the Israeli army. That tradition continues. Again, you'll probably meet people here today who want to do that this upcoming summer or once the school year
have a representative of the army here as well helping.
This is a time of year when a lot of people enter the army, right?
Correct.
This is Purim Pesach time.
Correct.
This is an important time of year. And when we've been on the summer flights, we have enjoyed how half of the flights often are filled with single Israeli soldiers, which is incredible. You also have here, among the statistics, 183 communities throughout Israel.
Yeah.
To some, that might sound like an exaggeration.
No, there are hundreds of communities in Israel.
183 communities now enjoy.
I'm saddened that only 183 of them have. There should be 300, 350, 400, but 183 is fine.
183 communities have Nefesh B'Nefesh.
Some of them have 5,000. Some of them have 50. Some of them have 5.
Might have a family or
but
two.
It shows that it's not, when you think of Aliyah in North America, it's not 3 different Beit Shemesh, Yerushalayim, Ranana. It's not that. It's not that. It's not been that way for a long, long time. And people have a pioneering spirit, and they want to venture out to different communities. And once people go and break and jump into the ocean, other people feel that it's not so much of a risk and something a little bit more normative.
Is Mega Event 2015 very different because of, a specific topic that's being discussed this year that wasn't in other years, or a seminar that's being conducted that was not here last year?
The two major differences for today, besides the numbers and the increase of attendees that we're expecting today, is that there's a little bit more of, you can see the vendor, we have 46 different booths here,
right,
which is quite impressive. We're trying to increase the variety of needs that the Olim might have and make sure that there is some kind of representation here. And second, because of the elections on Tuesday, we're able to start the event without any opening ceremony.
Interesting.
Up high.
You like that, huh?
It's fantastic.
We just go with a cold opening, and you're fine
and you go
with that.
straight. It's purely for the Olim, and we don't have to sit for half an hour and have dignitaries from Israel. No one's listening to this because they're all in the election mode, but if they were, I would be in trouble. And this way we can focus on the Olim, and they can come and they can go straight to seminars that are starting.
And Ola that got
minutes.
to Israel when could vote to this coming Tuesday? And Ola that got there as late as when could vote this coming Tuesday?
January.
Yeah, if someone got to Israel in January as an Ola and became a citizen, they could vote this coming Tuesday?
It's too late for you.
Is that a big deal, by the way? Is that like, are people taking that?
People are very moved by it for the first time that they can vote.
Must be amazing.
No, holding your Teudat Zehut
Of course.
and going to a booth, and you're with a semel, with a symbol of the state of Israel on your. I was emotional the first time. The more unstable governments we have, the more frequent it becomes.
And the less emotional you get.
No, but it's a beautiful thing. My son was able to vote. My son's voting this year, his first time, and it's also very moving.
Will you be back to vote in Israel?
I think we're all getting back
Everyone's
to vote.
gonna make sure.
Yeah, I think we're all shuttling. The whole staff and all the vendors are shuttling back to the airport tonight and tomorrow morning.
I assume Nefesh B'Nefesh is not at all endorsing any candidates.
Of course not. We
Of course
cannot.
not. And whoever does win prime ministership, you'll be able to work with them to continue to promote North American Aliyah.
we've reached out to all the candidates over the last few months to make sure that they recognize who we are and they recognize the importance of North American Aliyah, and make sure that they've expressed their commitments across the party line.
Do they all get it?
Yeah.
They do all get it. You mentioned here, by the way, there's a blurb about the United Kingdom, because you actually have an official program, right, with the United Kingdom. Is there an official program with France or not at this point?
Not yet,
and
no.
Is it in demand? Are people from France?
There is a demand. The government is seeking us out as well to create an infrastructure for French Olim. Things were moving at a very fast pace before the tragedy in France, and then the elections, the call for the elections. So things have been basically frozen. I'm sure the new government that comes in, we can pick up where we left off.
So at some point before the end of 2015, we might see an official program with French Jewry. It's possible.
Or at least offering our services to French who've arrived in Israel so we can help them integrate.
Right. Boy, that's very important, because I hear that there is
There's a tremendous demand.
Pretty amazing. All right, Rabbi Fast, you stay right there for a moment. Is Mark Rosenberg joining us? Say it again? In 1 minute he's joining us? All right. Okay, I got you. We're live from the Nefesh B'Nefesh mega event. More coming up right here if you keep it at the Nachum Segal Network. Mark Rosenberg will join us. Rabbi Fast will stay with us. All part of our network programming from this mega event, which will attract over 1,100 people. Watch the video of everything happening right now. If you go to NachumSegal.com, watch the video right now on the homepage at NachumSegal.com.
אני הולך אליי כל ימיי, אני הולך אליי מסונבר, האבנים פוצעות את כפותיי, אבל אני איני מרגיש דבר. אני חוזר מארץ לא זרועה, מושיט ידי לקטוף את שערי, הנני כאן אך כמו יונה פצועה, אני נופל תמיד מול שערך, הנני כאן כמו ציפורים חגות, הנני כאן מביט מן הגגות, הנני כאן כמו אבן בגדר, כמו סלע, כמו באר. אני האיש אשר תמיד חוזר, חוזר. אני חוזר מאלף גלגולים, אני נזיר בין מלך וקבצן, ובלילות בבכות השואלים אני חולם וארבח בו בזמן. אני רואה אותך הרחוקה כמו נסיכה שבויה במגדלים, בין סורגים יושבת ומחכה. האלוקים גדולים, הנני כאן כמו ציפורים חגות, הנני כאן מביט מן הגגות, הנני כאן כמו אבן בגדר, כמו סלע, כמו באר. אני האיש אשר תמיד חוזר, חוזר. ואת הלכת כמו האבנים וכמו הבור להלך במדבר, זריחות רכות נשקו אותך פנים, שקיעות כבדות נשקו אותך צוואר. אז ראיתיך יושבת ומצפה, ובעינייך אור ועצב רב, כך לקחתיך איתי אל החופה, את היחפה עם כתר של זהב. הנני כאן כמו ציפורים חגות, הנני כאן מביט מן הגגות, הנני כאן כמו אבן בגדר, כמו סלע, כמו באר. אני האיש אשר תמיד חוזר, חוזר.
You are listening to the Nachum Siegel Network, NachumSiegel.com, jmnam.org. If you log on right now, NachumSiegel.com, you can actually watch the video. This is what Rabbi Fast looks like when he's in the calm demeanor of New York City and not in the hustle and bustle of Jerusalem. This is what Rabbi Fast looks like, founder of Nefesh B'Nefesh.
I think this is how I look.
This is how you, oh, you're saying even in Jerusalem you'd look this way.
It's on the flights that I'm a little bit more stressed and tired.
We've been with you on those flights, and I'll tell you, as stressful as they may be, it's incredible, the atmosphere, because people are feeling like they're going home. And they get there having not slept the entire flight, and they're on the greatest high of their lives. It's just incredible. What a celebration. Rabbi Fast, we look forward to seeing you in Aretz, of course.
Amen.
Those communities will continue to grow. The number's going to be even larger next time. Anybody who does not make it here today, you've made it very easy for them. There's a website.
There's a website. Many of the seminars we're also taping today, so we're going to be posting on our website as well.
Unbelievable. nbn.org.il, and people can start their application process there. And what else is there to say? I hope today's a major success, and a lot of these people end up on these summer flights.
We hope so.
That would be the natural, right? It's not
That's
March.
the natural.
That's the natural. They end up on this summer.
On a group flight, on a summer flight in the near future.
Bezrat Hashem. Tadar Rabba.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Rabbi Yoshua Fass, as far as I'm concerned, one of the great heroes of modern Jewish history. That would make him uncomfortable to say it in front of him. That would make him uncomfortable. That's why I said it when he was already drifting away from our makeshift studio here at the Crown Plaza. Mark Rosenberg, though, is drifting in. He's director of the pre-Aliyah here at Nefesh B'Nefesh. He has been following closely all these events that have been going on and watching as the population increases each and every year at the mega event. Mark, welcome back to the Nachum Siegel Network.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you, sir.
Great to be back.
What is your reaction to the fact that now you're at 1,100 registrants and you're likely will have even more than that here today?
Bayot Ashirim. The problems of the happy, I should say, is that we actually had a discussion about how to cap off the rooms, what to do with the overflow of people, whether we should move venues. It is fantastic when you plan for something and it really comes to fruition, but it is overwhelming. We're still riding the high of all the preparation. To hard to believe that it's actually March 15th. It's sort of like its own Leil Seder. It says, oh, you prepare for it, and we're finally here, and I can't believe that it's happening.
Are we suggesting that we might have outgrown the Crown Plaza at this point?
It's official. We have. We're using downstairs, and we're using a few rooms upstairs. So we have plans. Last year we talked about actually going to one of the college campuses in the area. But we said, let's make sure that this is the right thing for us, and it's a fantastic challenge for us to have.
You have a schedule here. Those watching can see it. I'm holding it up. How do you decide, or basically does every category and subject get covered at this Nefesh B'Nefesh event? Because I was going to ask how you decide which topics to cover, but you may just tell me everything's here, and we just make sure to plot it in where it belongs.
It's a bingo. You just have to put down what session you want to go to. We cover all the major topics. It's important for people to understand that it's. I like to just be honest. It's naturally overwhelming. So what we want to make sure that people are whelmed. So if you miss a session, you're able to speak to the professionals one-on-one. We have lots of webinars online. We have broken it down so that people can digest it. So people shouldn't feel the pressure to say, oh, what session? I didn't come with my spouse, so we're going to divide up. But there's 3 sessions. What are we supposed to do? We want to make sure that people are able to digest the information in the way that's going to be easiest for them to move forward with their Aliyah plans.
Is there anything on this list that was not here last year?
We actually have upped a lot of, even on top of last year, another employment session. We have overflow sessions that we actually did this year. One is quick talks, quicker sessions that are in between the slots, so people can have 20 minutes with certain professionals, whether it's a financial analyst, whether it's someone from the Army, whether it's someone about a lawyer about renting or buying a home, as well as we're really having overflow Q&A sessions. Because on the other side over here, the Nefesh B'Nefesh tables and the Jewish agency tables, there are like 3 or 4 people deep waiting to get in their 3 minutes to ask their question. So we actually thought we'd do some group therapy and come downstairs and we'll have some Q&A sessions on the topic of employment, higher education, and just the general Aliyah questions.
Education, and of course, as it applies to elementary school, high school, because kids are often involved in Aliyah, obviously. I remember those being big topics. Higher education, though, it seems like, I don't know, maybe it's just from my own experience, it seems that people are expressing a greater interest in what they can accomplish in Israel in terms of higher education than they have in the past.
I would absolutely agree. I think that one of the realities that the government of Israel did in trying to offer a package to help new immigrants was you're eligible for a free BA or free MA under the age of 30. We're lobbying the government to lift that, maybe expand people who want to retrain. We need a government to do that, to continue our lobbying efforts.
We're working on that. We'll
see how that goes. But it's important to realize that I think what happened with the Great Recession, whatever they call it, about 6 years ago, was that people were graduating from law school and they're not guaranteed a job. And it was this realization is, well, I have to go to school and actually get the skills that are going to put me in place to get something in the job market. And that's actually that's how Israelis think. They don't say okay, I'm going to go to school, what job I'm going to get. They say, what job do I want? What job do I interested in, and what degree is going to help me acquire that position. So the free MBA, for example, is that people say, wow, I really want to get a job in Israel. I want to go into business. I need to get an MBA. It's going to put me back 3 or 4 years of paying off those loans. I can go to Israel and study for free.
Right.
Okay? And even if they study in English where it's partially subsidized, that's a lack of college debt that is pressured on you to maybe work in a company you don't want to work in, or put yourself farther away from that dream of living in Israel. So we want to translate that experience for people who come for their BA. There's no such, actually there's one program in Israel that has a liberal arts degree. So a BA is 3 years. So you don't, if you study literature like I did, then you don't take any science or math classes. Or if you do engineering, you don't take any literature or history classes. Law is a BA in Israel. So we want to make sure that people have the proper expectations, whether they're bringing college-age children or they themselves are coming for a BA or MA. What does it mean to actually get into the schools? I just want to throw one pro tip out.
Sure.
I think it's important to say is that you don't. I know I went to a school here. You apply to the university to get into. So we want to tell people that you're actually applying to the school within the university. So if you go to the engineering school, you're not applying to Hebrew University. You're applying to the Hebrew University Engineering School, and everything's negotiable because you're not against this big system that's out there. You're against the person that's in the admittance office for that degree, and you're able to say, well, what about this coursework? What if I do this? What if I take the test again? And maybe as with everything in Israel, everything's negotiable.
I was going to say, in Israel, there's always room for discussion.
I always like to say every advantage is also a disadvantage. Some people are very shocked when they come to Israel and they're like, oh, why are Israelis like pushing the prices or asking you about this? There's an advantage also when you're going to college that you can say, what about if I do this coursework, or how can I stretch this out? And often the universities are very amenable.
Mark Rosenberg is here. I know we're talking about education, and just to stay with it for a moment, how soon after someone moves to Israel can they take advantage of that free BA, or immediate, as soon as they're a citizen?
Immediately. It's important to say that most schools start after the Chagim.
Right.
I can't say the school starts in September because the Chagim move. So the first week after Sukkot, university will always start. So there are rolling admissions. So someone who makes Aliyah, now we're in March, someone comes in May, they can apply and start in October. Someone who comes in September, October, it's going to be harder to get in. There aren't so many programs that you can start in the winter semester like here in the New York area. It's an attitude that is changing. So as long as you come within the start of the academic year in September, October, then you're good to go.
Oh, the school year is really a year in Israel.
Yes.
Interesting. And I noticed here that you had a special session going on for medical professionals in general. You've always done this. I shouldn't say always. For the last 3-4 years, you've really concentrated on helping doctors, dentists, nurses adjust to life in Israel and also realize that there's hope for employment for them in Israel. What can you tell us today about that category?
Well, there's always been hope, and I think if you think historically, first of all, I always feel bad coming after Rabbi Fass after speaking about the greatness of Aliyah, but the great Aliyah of the Russians in the 1990s, they're all retiring, all these doctors. So Israel has this hope and need for medical professionals. But the reality of everything negotiable in Israel is that, sometimes they encounter that no.
Right.
Oh, this document's missing something, what's going to happen? Or, no, you didn't take this course when you were studying at Stern College. So what we actually have done in partnership with the Ministry of Health is we brought the people who are involved in the licensing process, and they are sitting upstairs opposite dentists, opposite physicians, opposite speech therapists, and they're looking over and slicing through the bureaucracy to say, well, you are actually online to be licensed, which shortens the period of waiting time that they need to actually earn a parnasa in Israel. And I think that step is that there's a difference between the hope and need to actually advancing people's processing to let them know that, this is going to be your timeline, not to make Aliyah, but this is your timeline to actually work in a clinic or a hospital.
And
in
that
Israel.
might sum up the whole Nefesh experience. You're trying to cut as much time as possible from all these processes so people can get going as soon as possible and not feel frustrated like they may have in the past. Mark Rosenberg, great job as usual. I hope today's a great success, and you're going to meet a lot of people that are ready to move.
Well, I'd like to share, we sat together last year. I looked over the statistics right beforehand. About a little over a fifth of the people who attended last year have already made Aliyah.
A fifth means about 200 or so.
About 185 have made it out, not to mention the people who are still applying and the people who are just interested and came out to ask questions. So that was about almost 850, 900 people that came last year. And here we're already pushing over 1,000. So it's amazing to see that we're planting these seeds, and we're thrilled to celebrate this small step forward in their planning and look forward to welcoming them in Israel.
Oh, and I should ask you, because there were other mega events you were at this week, right? In other cities. Do they also get that type of percentage?
We actually are, yes, a little bit lower than the New York because the total numbers. Montreal was actually quite amazing. We actually had just under 200 people come out with a lot of great questions. But I think it's important. You asked in the beginning about the schedule and how people juggle the schedule. I think that what's the most amazing thing about looking around this room and the buzz is that all of our information is online. We have webinars almost every Sunday. You can call us at 1-866. My team is answering the phone right now when people are calling. A lot of people can get that information online, but they're coming out to connect, and they're coming out to take their plans one step forward than just listening or reading. So when you see 200 people come out in Toronto and in Montreal and 250 people in Florida, it's this nice momentum seeing that a kihila, a sort of community, is stretching beyond just this idea to actually how to build that community in Israel.
Unbelievable. It's so great that it's happening all around this country, and that Israel, of course, continues to grow with North American Olim. nbn.org.il and 866-4-ALIYAH is the toll-free number you were alluding to. Mark Rosenberg, thank you, sir. Great seeing you.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. You have a great day as well. More coming up. This is the Nachum Segal Network. You can watch everything that we're doing if you go to the webpage, the homepage, NachumSegal.com.
שבחי ירושלים את אדושם הללי אלוקייך ציון שבחי ירושלים את אדושם הללי אלוקייך ציון כי חיזק בריחי שערייך כי חיזק בריחי שערייך ברך בנייך בקרבך ברך בנייך בקרבך ברך בנייך בקרבך הללי הללי אלוקייך ציון הללי הללי אלוקייך ציון ירושלים את עד השם הללי אלוקייך ציון שבחי ירושלים את עד השם הללי אלוקייך ציון כי חיזה בריחי שערייך כי חיזה בריחי שערייך ברע בנייך בקרבך ברע בנייך בקרבך ברע בנייך בקרבך הללי הללי אלוקייך ציון הללי הללי אלוקייך ציון הללי הללי אלוקייך ציון הללי הללי אלוקייך ציון.
All right, it's the Nachum Segal Network. Here we are. Make sure to be watching, not just listening, but watching at NachumSegal.com so you can see all the proceedings here as we continue to speak with guests from the Aliyah Mega event here at the Crown Plaza in New York City. You can catch all the action audio-wise at jmnam.org and NachumSegal.com. And again, the live video is happening right now on our website at the Nachum Segal Network. Ron Nachshon is with us, and he and his wife Sarah are going to be making Aliyah from Washington Heights. And that happens this coming August. Ron, welcome to the Nachum Segal Network.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So is this an exciting day for you that you're not just a participant, a registered participant at the event, but you're actually an Oleh? Or
It sure
soon
is.
to be an Oleh, I should say?
Yes, we came last year and we were just observers. And then over the past year, we've had some conversations, and now we're fully approved and on board to make Aliyah. So it's really exciting.
So
for
not to
us.
overstate the obvious, but this event had a big effect on making this happen last year.
Yes, it did.
And when did this final decision, when was it made? When did you say to yourselves that that's it, we're going?
Probably around last summer when we got married, but we were talking about it before, but then we said, you know what, it's happening. And you just had to kind of made that decision and decided that we were going to do it.
And
So-
what's your greatest concern? Things like employment and where to live? I mean, have you taken care of these things yet?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of financial sacrifices, as everybody talks about. But we're young and we're pretty hopeful and excited that things will work out. I mean, if you go in with a lot of concerns, then you can get bogged down. But you need to just kind of take the leap, and I think we'll figure it out. But sure.
I am jealous of your idealism of youth. It's so
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, it's so incredible. Let me
I'm sure
tell
we'll
you.
get hit with the realism of Israeli bureaucracy.
All
But
right, hey, like you say, at your age you can handle it, right? Simple as that. And your wife is a nurse.
that's right.
And she's ready to do the same thing in Israel, I assume.
Yep, she's a registered nurse here, has been working. She just has to get certified there. So
Right? Is that a difficult process? I mean, how do?
I think it takes some time. You have to study. They offer the exam twice a year. So she has to restudy, I suppose, and then just get certified there and hopefully find work once that's completed.
At what point do you decide where you're going to live in Israel?
Well, we're moving up north
For sure.
to Haifa. So that was a decision that we made.
And you chose Haifa because?
We wanted to go north, but still be in civilization, have some sort of Anglo presence, have the government nearby so that we can settle in, and then figure it out from there. We both have a lot of family in the Jerusalem and in the Gush, so I'm sure we'll be in that region a lot as well. But we'd like to start up north and see what becomes realistic as we settle. So
Very interesting. So you'll be in Haifa. It happens this August, right? You're on. I guess, what would that be? The first flight after Tisha B'av, like in that area of the calendar?
yeah, there's an August charter flight which
Right.
we'd like to make. We don't know the date yet, but once they tell us, we can hopefully get on board that.
It's very exciting. It's a tremendous celebration. I'm telling you, like, I'm so experienced at this, but I've been on a couple of those flights. It's the most amazing experience. And if you have family and friends there, they'll probably be at the airport with big signs and balloons ready to welcome you. For that alone, it's worth the whole trip. Have you had this vision since you were a high schooler or even earlier? Like, have you been thinking about Israel your whole life?
Yeah, so my parents are very Tzioni. I was actually born in Jerusalem because they made Aliyah and then came back. But it's been kind of in my blood ever since I was little, so it's something I've always wanted to do.
And what about your wife, Sarah? Same thing? Or
Yeah, she has 2 siblings there, and her family goes pretty frequently, so it's a value that's instilled in us, and it's where we want to build our home. So
Incredible. So today you walk around like big shots. Today, I mean, this is nothing for you. You've been through this whole process already. You know what a mega event's like. Today you're walking around like the experienced people that you are.
I guess so.
I'm overstating it a bit, huh? And enjoying the proceedings and saying to yourselves, thank God you made the decision you made.
Yeah, definitely. We're very grateful, and we feel very blessed to have this opportunity. So
Well, to you and your wife, I say Mazal Tov.
thank you very much.
Congratulations. Wonderful meeting you, and we hope to see you on the other side, as we say.
Thank you. Hope to see you there.
Who knows, with the number of flights we've been on, maybe we'll see you on the actual flight itself. Ron and Sarah Nachshod are moving to Israel. It sounds like Haifa in August of 2015. He's in finance. She's a nurse. This is a perfect example of a young couple who have taken advantage of the Aliyah Mega event, introduced themselves to the process last year, and now are full-fledged, ready to be Olim and move this coming summer. They're moving from Washington Heights all the way to the heights of Israel up north. So we say congratulations to them and a pleasure meeting them here today. More coming up from the Mega event. It's Mega Event 2015 at the Crown Plaza in New York City as we continue right here at the Nachum Segal Network.
כחול כמו מכנסיים, לבן כמו לבנה, כחול כמו גל במים, לבן כמו שן קטנה, כחול כמו תקווה, לבן כמו אהבה, לבן כמו אהבה. כחול יורד הערב, לבן כמו זריחה, כחול כמו העצב, לבן כמו שמחה, כחול כמו תקווה, לבן כמו אהבה, לבן כמו אהבה. של שקט ושלווה, כחול ולבן הם לא רק צבעי הדגל, כחול ולבן הם תקווה ואהבה, ואם נמצא כחול לבן ולא רק על הדגל, אולי נדע ימים יפים של שקט ושלווה. כחול כמו שמיים, לבן כמו יונה, כחול כמו עיניים, לבן כמו פנינה, כחול כמו תקווה, לבן כמו אהבה, לבן כמו אהבה. כחולה היא הכנרת, חרמון ראשו לבן, כחול כמו קו הרופק, לבן כמו ענן, כחול כמו תקווה, לבן כמו אהבה, לבן כמו אהבה. כחול ולבן הם לא רק צבעי הדגל, כחול ולבן הם תקווה ואהבה, ואם נמצא כחול לבן ולא רק על הדגל, אולי נדע ימים יפים של שקט ושלווה. כחול ולבן הם לא רק צבעי הדגל, כחול ולבן הם תקווה ואהבה, ואם נמצא כחול לבן שקט ושלווה.
Arnon Moshe Datz with Kachol V'Lavan here at the Nachum Segal Network. We're on the web at NachumSegal.com, jmnam.org. I want to thank Matis Weingast, had me on this morning during JM Sunday. Spoke about our JMNAM fundraising marathon. Don't forget you can give at jmnam.org and NachumSegal.com. If you want to watch the proceedings here, if you want to watch what's going on, all you got to do is go to our homepage at NachumSegal.com. The video is up, and you could watch and see what's happening right now. We just met some incredible brand new Olim. We're going to be heading to Israel during the summer of 2015. It all began for them right here at the mega event last year. Now they are experienced at this game, and they're here today to solidify their aliyah to Haifa, Israel, this coming summer, which is pretty amazing. So more coming up if you keep it right here at the Nachum Segal Network. And we will have an opportunity to meet more Olim. And Jamie Geller is going to be joining us. We'll talk about life in Israel and transitioning her incredibly successful business all the way to the Holy Land from the United States. That and more happening if you keep it here at the Nachum Segal Network.
השקט שוב צולח כאן משמי הערב, כי דהיית דיה מעל התהומות, ושמש אדומה נושקת להט חרב, את הפסגות המגדלים והחומות. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, והיא עולה בשלל צבעי הקשר, והיא נוגנת בי כנבל העשור. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, והיא עולה בשלל צבעי הקשר, והיא נוגנת בי כנבל העשור. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור. זוכר הצל מבין גבעות האורן, קרב בסתר כאוהב אל השכונות, ומול פניו קריצות ריבו אלי ההורן, לפתע נפקחו אליו כנפעמות. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, והיא עולה בשלל צבעי הקשת, והיא נוגנת בי כנבל העשור. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, והיא עולה בשלל צבעי הקשת, והיא נוגנת בי כנבל העשור. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור. אשמורת אחרונה נושבת, ובכתיפת שחקים רסיס אחרון מחביר, אך שחר כבר כיפת זהב שלה עוד רמת, למגעו החם הרך של אור צעיר. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, והיא עולה בשלל צבעי הקשת, והיא נוגנת בי כנבל העשור. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור, והיא עולה בשלל צבעי הקשת, והיא נוגנת בי כנבל העשור. ראיתי עיר עוטפת אור.
Name of that song is Arv Yerushalayim. Love when we get an opportunity to play some of the great Israel and Jerusalem hits when we do our show from the mega event. It's the Nachum Segal Network. Thanks for tuning in. Rachel Berger's here. She's Director of Post Aliyah and Employment and is here to discuss Israel's job market. Rachel, welcome back to the Nachum Segal Network.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to see you. Is there employment? Are there jobs in Israel? And of course, the answer is yes.
Yes.
But we need experts like yourself to guide everybody how to find the job that's best for them.
So
Simple as
I'm
that.
going to tell you some statistics of last month.
Please.
We had over 600 jobs on our job board. Right now, if you go to the job board, you'll see 300 postings that are current postings opening right now. We're in touch with 2,700 companies, and we're considered the English language placement department. And it's really awesome. It's awesome for Olim. It's awesome for us. And I think we're really able to have an impact.
May sound like a silly question. Anybody who gets on that plane already has a job or not necessarily so?
Mostly not, but we do the placements in Israel. The employers prefer to have the people in Israel. But what we do now, and at this mega event, is that we connect people, no matter what their field is, with employers in Israel so that they can start the conversation.
So moms and dads and other adults in Israel are spending the first couple of months very often, I assume, going on job interviews and exploring the job market aggressively.
Yeah, they are, but because they come through Nefesh B'Nefesh, many of them are very prepared, and they have a sense already of who the employers are. They will have been in touch with contacts in their fields, with their network, and so they know what they're walking into, and that's the most important thing. When you know what you're walking into, where the opportunities are, you can really make stuff happen.
You know how difficult the job market is in this area of the world? It's very
I've
difficult.
heard, yeah.
Is Israel better? Is there a way to compare?
So, from all the statistics that I read in the market and from my own personal experience, it is much better. I'll tell you a story. There was a woman who came to me in her 50s, okay, which we all know is not necessarily an easy time to transition within the job market. And she had been living in Teaneck, and she was a marketing executive. And we took her resume, and we formatted it. We sent it out, and she got interviews. And she said to me, you know, I was sending my resume out in New York for 2 years. I did not get interviews. She's working now at one of the prestigious museums in Israel, you know, and she took Mayor Bloomberg when he was the mayor around. She said, who thought that could be my job? So it's really, really amazing.
Unbelievable. So you never know. There's plenty of hope. A lot of opportunities. Any specific industries over the last 12 months since the last mega event that are opening up or are further open than they were, or basically everything is the way it's been?
So I would say that if there was somebody who was a student and studying right now in the area of technology, to strongly consider mobile technology, apps, and that kind of thing, that is really booming. We always know that technology is something very hot in Israel, but specifically in the apps and mobile.
And all in
it's
Tel Aviv
unbelievable.
or other areas as well?
Other areas as well. Obviously, the center is Tel Aviv, but other areas as well, and some remote areas that you wouldn't expect. Beersheba wants to be the cyber capital of the world, and there are people, if you come with good skills, there are jobs. And the other thing is English language. People who have English language skills really do find opportunities utilizing their marketing and writing skills.
I can only imagine how many people you speak to on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the potential employers. I'm talking about
Yeah.
people who are not in a panic. I don't want to present that kind of situation, but are concerned about getting a job in Israel and being...
So the people I meet with, I wouldn't use the word concern. That's really not what's going on. When I have an appointment, and I really do have a lot of appointments all day, it's much more with people who are confident that there is a job. They want to get the right job, and that's what we're working on. I don't really have a lot of people come to me, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with, this is my skill set, and I want to find the appropriate job. I had a woman who was already on her second job in Israel, young lady, came in and said, I'm super excellent, and they're only paying me X, and I want to get Y, and I'm worth it. And I was like, rock on, go forth. Now let's see how we're going to present you so that you can get it. And she closed deals rather quickly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
There you have it. Rachel Berger says that if you want information about any of this, you can go to the website at nbn.org.il, and there are employment webinars. You'll be giving a seminar today here at the Crown Plaza. And plenty of information. It's all online. It's available to everybody.
And they
can
should
be in touch
go
with you.
for sure, employment@nbn.org.il. And they should also go on both LinkedIn and Facebook and look up Nefesh B'Nefesh jobs.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Continue your amazing work. It's because of you that people are able to move to and then stay in Israel. So, Yashikov.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure. Thank you. Rachel Berger is Director of Post Aliyah and Employment. Director of Post Aliyah and Employment for Nefesh B'Nefesh. Jamie Geller, who made quite a splash everywhere in the Jewish world when she announced she's heading to the Holy Land, that's for sure. Jamie Geller is here. Check it out right now. Go to NachumSegal.com. The video is up. We're live. You can see me and Jamie Geller talk about life in the Holy Land. Jamie Geller, welcome to the Nachum Segal Network.
It's my first time on the Nachum Segal show.
Wow.
What do I have to do to
I
get on?
I remember my first time. You're speaking much better than I did my first time. I can tell you that much.
What did I do to deserve this? I'm so excited. I had to fly from Israel to New York to be on
That's
the
what
show.
happens. People who move to Israel, they get rewarded by
Right.
appearing on shows like this.
Well, yay.
This must be a very busy time for you. You know, after all, we're between Purim and Pesach. How can I speak to an expert gourmet chef at this time of year? The nerve that I have.
I have to tell you, I always say I'm like an accountant, and this is my tax season. I'll be back and forth twice before the Seder, and I land in Israel just a few hours before the Seder.
Oh, my gosh. And just like those accountants before April 15th,
Right.
you're probably pulling all-nighters and up day and night.
I
doing
hope you don't
things.
have that good lenses. My eyes are like red and blurry from lack of sleep. We're cooking up a storm like crazy. I was with 3 days in Manischewitz to Chelsea Market. I'm in Livingston, New Jersey tonight for a demo. I'm in Brooklyn for an event and for a shoot, and I come back for the Today Show in 2 weeks.
Fantastic. Is that going to be a Passover theme?
Of course.
They
What do you
need
think,
to know
Kathy
about
Lee and
Pesach.
Hoda? They want to make matzo balls.
Is that what they were told?
Oh, yeah.
Matzo balls?
Last year I made matzo balls with them and brisket. I don't know what they're going to choose this year. So
I wonder if they really meant it when they said they enjoyed matzo balls. You know, you never
she
know.
said she had the
was-
best time. We had
Imagine
so
that.
much fun, and the food was delicious, and everyone really loved it. Such a Kiddush Hashem to be on, you know?
When did you say to yourself you're going to the Holy Land?
Oh, I didn't. My husband said it to me.
Ah.
He said it to me when we were engaged, so I said, okay, great, find another girl. And then 8.5 years later, I became the spokesperson for Aliyah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was a total...
And you must have thought at least twice before moving your whole operation thousands of miles away.
Sure. I mean, it did take a few years. I pushed it off a few years because I felt like we weren't ready. And then we kind of got to a place with the company that we felt established at joyofkosher.com.
Right.
We have a worldwide audience. And I felt like there's actually, not only can I do it from Israel, but there's value to being in Israel. Like, people love the Israel story. They love the Israeli food, the Israeli cuisine. And so we bring a piece of that, onto the content as well.
Is the story still developing, or we're completely settled now in Israel?
I mean, I feel like the story's always developing, but we're not coming back. I mean, it's such a blessing and a privilege to live there and to be there. And I just saw someone in the ladies' room, and she was like, where women talk and they're putting on their lipstick, and she said, "You're still there, right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm still there. Can't you tell?" I just here to let everyone else know that it's the place to be.
And look, you're involved in 100 different things.
Yes.
You mentioned the magazine.
Yeah.
Everyone continues to be
Thank you.
knocked off their feet every time they see it. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Joy of Kosher magazine is just incredible.
The level of professionalism.
Thank you.
The articles, the photos, everything
Thank
seems to just come
you.
together so nicely.
Thank you. We have an amazing editor-in-chief. Her name is Shifra Klein.
Right,
She's
we've met her,
often-
and she's incredible.
Yeah, she's often on the Nachum Segal Network.
Right.
We're regulars on Naomi Nachman's
Right.
show, and she's just such a fan and a supporter. Naomi also does a lot of work with us, and we're just so blessed and so happy that everyone is so receptive to high quality. My background is as a television producer at
Right.
HBO, so it's a really high level of production standard that I wanted to bring to the kosher and Jewish world, and it's just wonderful that it's being received.
All right, what's the big dish in Israel? Something you cooked there you never cooked in the United States?
Shakshuka.
That's the thing, huh?
I mean, it's like I order it even when I come here. I'm like, is that wrong? Is that weird? It's awesome diet food. It's so healthy, and I love shakshuka.
Did I just see it somewhere over the weekend?
It's everywhere.
Was it in the New York Times Magazine or something? I'm telling you, oh, I know where I saw it. I think it would, the Jewish press is now going to be flattered that I compared them to the New York Times
right.
Magazine.
Oh, I could see the
Jewish Press Magazine.
confusion.
The Jewish Press Magazine,
Right.
this past issue, had a shakshuka recipe.
Well-
it seems to be the thing.
Well, they're on trend then.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
trending, is right. Has that made it into Joy of Kosher yet, the shakshuka? or
Oh,
no?
sure. We did a video for shakshuka, a quick and easy shakshuka. So we work with Sabra, and they've got a great Mediterranean.
Now I'm feeling
makucha.
guilty. I'm not a shakshuka fan.
A what?
So now I'm feeling guilty. Yeah.
I mean, have you tried a good shakshuka?
I don't know. Maybe I just haven't had the good one yet.
Either you or your wife should look up my video on
Right.
joyofkosher.com. Just Google shakshuka, and maybe you'll make that one, and then you'll love it.
All right. I have a feeling that you may finally have the answer for me. me.
Right.
Jamie Geller is here. Life in Israel is what it's all about. What about transitioning? What about transitioning the business in general? I mean, is this something that you can give a word of either advice or encouragement to people who are listening? I mean, it's not easy to pick the whole operation up and move. What would you say to people who are wondering if they could take their own, self-made business or their own, self-employment and bring it to Israel?
Sure. No, I don't want to say anything's easy. I hate when I tell people that Aliyah is amazing. What I mean, it's amazing. It's not easy, but it's amazing. So, look, I do travel back and forth. I think pick a community that's close to the airport. So that's really great. Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference to be half hour, door to door from the airport. So that's really wonderful. And I think, I was nervous about traveling and leaving my family, but especially if you live in a little bit of an Anglo community where either one parent or the other parent is doing it, then the kids don't feel so alienated. It's like this week, her father's away. Next week, her mother's away. We share Shabbos. Yeah, I see my daughter's best friend. Her father's right here, right now. They wanted to spend Shabbos together because each of the parents were away. So it's they can relate to each other. So. Look, you have to make it work. You have to do your best, and it's nice to have a support system, like a great spouse or a great friend or neighbor that helps out while you're gone. But some travel's, necessary for sort of keeping a business afloat.
The airport strategy is very impressive.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. You have 10 minutes from the airport, it makes a big difference, I guess, that's for sure.
For sure.
Well, Jamie Geller, I thank you. Best way for people to access your work would be?
joyofkosher.com.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And what made the cover of the Passover issue?
A steak. Isn't
steak
that funny?
for Pesach?
Yeah, so it's not going to be for the Seder, obviously, because we don't do the roasted meats, but it's we show how to make the perfect steak. One of the great things about the magazine is not only do you see great seasonal recipes, but we teach you how to do something perfect every time. So this is the issue of how to make a perfect steak.
When we would eat steak in our house?
When?
Erev Pesach.
Very good.
Because
Okay.
you need something to eat.
You need to be full.
Especially here,
yes.
the Seder starts like 8:30 at
the
night.
meal is, and it's even later than whatever you think it's going to be.
Right.
So you really have
Correct.
to. The hardest thing, I always say, feeding kids before Shabbos or feeding kids before the Seder.
Right. Very
So,
difficult. And they all want to stay up, and of course, they usually conk
Yes.
out. Jamie, I thank you.
Thank
and
you
Chag
so
Kasher
much.
v'sameach.
Chag Kasher v'sameach to you too. Thank
Great
you.
to see you.
All the best.
Jamie Geller, of course, Joy of Kosher, everybody.
Oh, yes.
Oren says he must have a photo of what's happening here. Make sure to check out the Joy of Kosher website, and of course, you can just search Jamie Geller.
And I'm moving to Oren's neighborhood. I'm moving to Emerald. That's why I'm here.
Holy cow.
Yes, I want to make sure I have great neighbors at Emerald Heights and Ramat Beit Shemesh.
You got to put in a good word for me.
Yeah?
You got to put in a good word
Should he be
for
our
me.
neighbor? Should he come move in?
You got to. Maybe I'll have good shakshuka if I finally move next door to you. You got to get a good word in.
I know Emerald Heights is the place to be in Mishkafayim.
That's what they're calling it,
Shemesh.
Emerald Heights.
That's the place. That's where we're living.
We're going to check it out. All right, more coming up. This is the Nachum Segal Network as we continue from the mega event. This is a mega event. It's the Nefesh B'Nefesh mega event. Everybody out there is invited to participate by going to nbn.org.il or calling 866-4-ALIYAH. That's 866-4-ALIYAH. You make sure to get all the information you need about moving to Aretz. Maybe you can be on a flight this summer. How do you like that? That would be pretty amazing. More coming up. Keep it here at the Nachum Segal Network.
From Avram's open desert tent, history's children in every event are looking for a way to lighten up their load. And brighter than the sun you shine, Jerusalem. You're on my mind, you lift my soul, you echo the divine. Providence that guides us so that we may teach and all may know the hand that may admonish or reward has given us this holy space. Jerusalem, to you I turn, I trace my steps back to you now again. Jerusalem is calling, Jerusalem is calling. Hear it echo through the canyons of your mind until you reclaim the things you've left behind. time. Jerusalem is calling. Jerusalem is calling. There's nothing new, the map is old. It's left here for you to unfold. A note, a memo drifts down from on high and lands upon foundation stone. The message is, you're not alone. Jerusalem will keep your dream alive. Jerusalem is calling. Jerusalem is calling. Hear it echo through the canyons of your mind until you reclaim the things you've left behind. It's telling you this just might be the time.
Somehow it seems that song works into every broadcast we do that has to do with Jerusalem or has to do with Israel. Jerusalem is calling. And yes, a lot of people are answering that call today. Not just to Jerusalem, but to 134 other communities in Israel as part of this Nefesh B'Nefesh mega event. We said this earlier with 42,000 old, and we remember practically the day the Nefesh B'Nefesh started, so we're allowed to shep a little nachas here. 42,000 olim, 52 chartered flights, and 183 communities. That's the stat I was looking for. 183 communities in Israel that have enjoyed Nefesh B'Nefesh Olim. And we're here today to encourage everybody not just to be at the Crown Plaza during this amazing mega event, but to also check out your own Aliyah application at nbn.org.il. That's nbn.org.il. And to do the same by telephone. If you want to speak toll-free to anybody at the Nefesh B'Nefesh office, it's 8664-ALIYAH, 8664, the number 4, and then ALIYAH. Apparently 1,200 people are trying to get into this building right now, and into this mega event, which is pretty amazing. And it must be the most remarkable feeling on the part of the Nefesh B'Nefesh staff. Maybe the Israeli election actually helped. Maybe there's so much attention being paid to Israel right now that's been one of the great pieces of publicity that Israel has had over the last couple of weeks. Who knows the reason? Whatever the reason is, There seems to be a collective pulling at the heartstrings of the Jewish people. It's happening from the Holy Land, and it's being exhibited here at the Nefesh B'Nefesh mega event. We'll take this quick break. More coming up. This is the Nachum Segal Network.
ירושלים גילו בה, גילו בה כל אוהבי הכל אוהבי הסיסו את ירושלים גילו בה, גילו בה כל אוהביה, סיסו את ירושלים גילו בה, גילו בה כל אוהבי הכל אוהביה, סיסו את ירושלים גילו בה, גילו בה כל אוהביה. יפוצו מסנך ויפרט תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה גילו בה כל אוהביה כל אוהביה תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה גילו בה כל אוהביה תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה גילו בה כל אוהביה כל אוהביה תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה כל אוהביה, על חומותייך עיר דוד הפקדתי שומרים, כל היום וכל הלילה. על חומותייך עיר דוד הפקדתי שומרים, כל היום וכל הלילה. תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה, גילו בה כל אוהביה, כל אוהביה. תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה, גילו בה כל אוהביה. תיסעו את ירושלים גילו בה.
Oh, yes. It is the Nachum Segal Network. We are at the Nefesh B'Nefesh amazing mega event. Earlier, we were talking about Haifa. Emily Shapiro would not sit here and speak with us about Haifa because she is the Go South regional coordinator. If you know anything about the geography of Israel, thank God I know a little bit. You'll know that Haifa's in the north, but there are a lot of great communities in the south. Emily Shapiro, welcome to the Nachum Segal Network.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Wonderful to have you here. The south, you know, it's funny, in the notes that were handed to me, it talks about the southern front. Is the southern part of it, oh, careful. Is the southern part of Israel still considered a frontier?
Well, you know, it's a huge region.
It certainly is.
60% of the landmass of Israel is the southern region, and only 8% of the population. So we're working on it.
Imagine that.
So I think some places are more frontier than others. I live in Beersheba, and when I moved to Beersheba, definitely was considered.
What do we call Beersheba? The capital of the south? Would that be the accurate?
It is the capital of the Negev. It
Right.
is, and definitely when I moved there, it was still considered frontier. But I think now, over the past 5 years, it's becoming more and more mainstream.
Members of my extended family moved to Beersheba in 1972.
I probably know them. They're probably my neighbors.
Well, not only that, you have the same last name as them.
Oh, Shapiro's.
From Derech HaMeshacharim.
Oh, I know.
You know
I
Derech
definitely
HaMeshacharim?
know Derech HaMeshacharim. Major street in Beersheba.
When they used to call my aunt the mayor of Beersheba, I would joke with her, it's because you're the only person who lives in Beersheba.
It's not true anymore. It's not true anymore.
That's not the case anymore. Besides Beersheba, where else in the south are people moving to? The folks on this August flight that it's coming up this summer that will move to what areas of the south?
Look, our two top cities are definitely Beersheba and Ashkelon. There's a lovely retiree community in Ashkelon. Lovely group of English-speaking Ashkelonians. Ashkelonites.
I wonder what attracted them to Ashkelon.
The beach.
It's simple as that.
The beach. It's a beach town, and it's a really lovely from community.
Very nice.
Lots of South Africans, but lots of North Americans as well. So Ashkelon is big. Beersheba is big. And, you know, we have some really interesting people going to places more south than that, who are really starting new communities as well.
And that would give me an example or two.
An example, we have a family that just went to Kfar Ritamim, which is a half hour south of Beersheba.
Never even heard of it.
They were the 100th family.
In
on
Kfar
the Yishuv.
Rithamim.
The 100th family on the Yishuv. We have another family in a Yishuv called Merchav Am. These are all Dati Yishuvim, and there are 48 families on that Yishuv.
All right, help me realize a dream here.
Okay.
You have or have not had Olim from Nefesh B'Nefesh to Eilat?
Of course.
It has happened.
Of course. I go there every year, and we have social gatherings in Eilat.
I have this crazy
It's
dream
far-
of
look, it's
broadcasting
far.
from Eilat. And
Oh, come! I could get you.
I love
I can get
Eilat.
you a group of English
What's
speakers.
wrong with Eilat? It's such a great place. As Miriam Wallach is in agony whenever I mention moving to Eilat. My
We
God.
have people who retire to Eilat. They sort of think of it as the Florida.
That
of
would not be
Israel.
a close to the airport community, right?
No, it's pretty far. It's pretty far. It's pretty
That would
far.
be.
But for grandparents, it's great. They, because everybody loves to go visit them down there.
Someone said to me, if you move to Eilat, you'll never get any visitors. But if you do, they'll never leave. That's what they,
No, people love visiting their grandparents in Eilat.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we'll see if that dream ever comes true. Emily Shapiro is here, the Go South Regional Coordinator, Nefesh B'Nefesh. Do you get a lot of where should I go? Or a lot of people
Tons.
a lot of that already?
Tons.
So it's not like I would think anybody walking into this room already has in mind a place or a couple of choices that they're considering. But you get a lot of blank slate, I need to know where to move to.
Yes, a lot of people saying we're looking for community, and a lot of people looking for, to be honest, the only thing they know is Jerusalem, Tel Aviv,
Right.
Jerusalem, Tel Aviv.
Which makes sense.
And
Where do
it's not,
visitors go?
Nahon, but it's for many of them, it's not a realistic option.
Right.
It's simply not. It's overcrowded, and it's simply not
Overpriced,
affordable.
or right.
It's simply not affordable. So then, past Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, help! They need help. They need guidance, and that's where the Go North and Go South program come in to say there are other options.
Right.
There's a big, it's on the one hand a tiny country, but there are a lot of possibilities outside of the center.
Right, and for those who love to see empty areas of Israel grow,
It's
the
amazing.
South is the
It's
obviously
amazing.
the
I've
best
been in
place for that
Beersheba
to
for the past 5 years. It's not recognizable to when I
Just in
when I
5
go.
years?
In the past 5 years have been probably the most quick development that's taken place in Beersheba.
Right, and not to I don't like to bring up negative points, especially a day like today, but you mentioned Ashkelon. You talk about Beersheba. The war last summer increases the trepidation, or basically,
It was a really, really tough summer, but
Yeah.
what was really fascinating and inspiring is that none of our Alim on the plains last summer canceled their Aliyah.
and they all went to the cities they said they were going
They
to.
said they went to where they were going to go.
They could be going to Ashkelon that afternoon.
During the war, they came straight to from the airport to Beersheba to Ashkelon. Nobody canceled, and our numbers of interest in the South didn't change. If anything, they went up, it was really fascinating for us to see that.
Unbelievable.
Surprising, but inspiring.
So if 200 people from today end up moving to Israel this summer, which is basically the statistic we've been given based on prior experience, and you guys look at the numbers very closely, how many do you think will go to the South?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Do you think 25% of that, or even more?
That would be great. Look, our last year we had 200 Olim coming for the year
Right.
coming to the South. The other thing that we're working on, in addition, though, to direct Aliyah, is also relocation to the South. So we work with Olim who
Already are in
have
Israel.
moved, 5 years ago to the center, but they said, okay, we're ready for something new, or we need something new.
Right.
So we work with those as well. So we worked with 200 relocators last year as well. So together, those numbers are starting to build much stronger communities in the South.
It's incredible what's going on. All right, Emily Shapiro, hope to see you in Eilat.
Come visit.
If I make it there, I'll host one of those social events for you. How do you like that?
That would be fabulous.
What a commitment. Someone call my wife. Tell her we made that commitment. Emily, thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Hope today's a big success. Emily Shapiro,
Amen.
she guides the Go South regional campaign. She could tell you about life in Israel's South, and those of you out there who are interested in the South or any area of Israel, you go to the website, nbn.org.il or 8664-ALIYAH, nbn.org.il or 8664-ALIYAH, and you'll be able to get all the information you need. Simple as that. My name is Nachum Siegel. We're at NSN, the Nachum Siegel Network, on the web at nachumsiegel.com and jam.org. The video is up. It's live. You can watch the whole thing live right now. Check it out. Go to nachumsiegel.com and check out our video. It is the actual video of what's happening here in the at the mega event at the Crown Plaza. Go back to some music, and then we'll be back with more of our special guests. Met a lot of great people so far, including Rabbi Fass, who joined us earlier, Mark Rosenberg, Rachel Berger, all were with us earlier, and We'll go to this from Aryeh Kunstler, continue with more at the Nachum Segal Network.
Yerushalayim.
Aryeh Kunstler, Im Eshkachech Yerushalayim. I'm holding up to the camera. Now, I'm just asking her right fast as I do this. Is this is Machane Yehuda or not? Where is this? This is Machane Yehuda? So they actually did one of the Make Yourself at Home campaign ads that everyone's been seeing in all the different newspapers over the last magazines over the last few weeks. They actually did these on the spot. They're not Photoshop. We went through that already. But this one is in Machane Yehuda. This is the Machane Yehuda market.
That one's in Machane Yehuda.
This is the beach you were alluded to earlier.
Yeah. This is in Tel Aviv.
This was actually a couch put on a Tel Aviv street.
Yes.
For people to feel at home, make yourself at home, etc. You see that, ZK? That's a Tel Aviv street. Let's go through
this
a couple
is the
more
famous
here.
Tel Aviv Agam water.
Right, that's the Agam fountain over there.
Thank you.
And this is what? A family that's made Aliyah to Israel.
I guess so. They're not photoshopped, Nachum.
They're real.
They're real.
They're a real family. This is also in the streets of Jerusalem. Where is this? Is this streets of Jerusalem? ZK, where is this one? Jerusalem?
I think it's a Tel Aviv one.
This is Tel Aviv. Here's the Agam fountain, another Agam fountain. And
This
this
is
one
beautiful. I love that one.
This is the one, anybody who has been near the old city, near the Kotel, you know what this is. This is that walkway right next to the walkway on the side of the old city walls. And that is one way to relax. That is one way for a family to relax. And what gets me in this shoot, again, is that nobody, at least in the frame of the picture, nobody is staring and wondering what's going on. But Rabbi Fast says there are some great outtakes, which in fact would prove that people were mesmerized by the whole operation. Make yourself at home right here at the Crown Plaza, and then make yourself at home in Israel by heading to the Holy Land with Nefesh B'Nefesh. They're at 8664 Aliyah. You could also log on, nbn.org.il, nbn.org.il for all the information. Today's mega event has attracted over 1,200 people. It is a record. They've had in the 600, 700, 800s before, never 1,200. They've attracted a crowd that now looks like has made the Crown Plaza too small for this operation. Mega event that takes place again is going to have to be at a different location. How do you like that? What do you have to say to that, Miriam Wallach? I just realized I haven't spoken to you on the show the entire time.
I know. How are you?
Seat.
Oh, well, thanks.
Have a seat and look at the camera.
Amazing. Do you want me to go over there?
Whatever you want.
Should I
you
produce
can
myself?
turn that around.
Okay.
Look at the
Okay.
camera. There she is.
Hey, how's it
there
going?
There she is, everybody. After a weekend
are
of
you?
rest, there she is.
Do I look well rested?
The incredible Miriam L. Wallach.
How are you?
I'm fine. I mean, my heart is in a lot at the moment, but I'm fine.
Okay. You will go south. Go south,
no,
young man.
The truth is, no. I'm looking for a place where, in isolation, I can conduct a network, do my shows.
Well, isolation will be what you get, because I'm not coming down to
and relax in a very nice, pleasant environment. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Why, you would move where if you moved to Israel tomorrow?
The truth of the matter is that I've always said, as long as you get me in the country, it doesn't matter to me where I am.
There you go. So you would go for a lot.
I would go for a lot. Methinks Stephen Wallach, not so much.
So you'd go some other area.
Exactly.
Well, whatever.
Exactly. But
whatever it is, good luck.
Amir Hashem by us. Amen. By the way,
you
can't think that this kind of energy could have been photoshopped in. Look at the faces; those are real faces.
I'll tell you the problem, and this is, and Rabbi Fast may have taken more offense to this, only because he's not as familiar anymore with what goes on in this country.
He's not as cynical as we are.
Well, no, it's just that when you're here in the U.S. and you're surrounded by these campaigns, which are so obvious, I shouldn't say obviously, that really look good, but you end up finding out they're not really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you hear about wedding crashing videos and you find out that they really didn't crash the wedding and stuff like that.
I was going to make that reference, but I didn't.
So you just start to assume
that
everything is a falsehood. So when I saw these,
There's
I said,
no truth in this world.
I said, look, they look really authentic.
Look how happy they are. You can't fake that.
I guess. I don't know.
You can't fake that. That's real. That's good energy.
There's
in those
one
pictures.
missing. They should have put a couch.
Ours. That's what's missing. Our picture.
They should have put one in the middle of Kraft Stadium on the field. They should have put a couch right smack in the middle of Kraft Stadium.
Yeah, but that could have been anywhere.
What?
Come on.
You could recognize Kraft Stadium with the background of Jerusalem.
I could recognize Kraft Stadium.
Come on, the background of Jerusalem, of course.
Okay.
Anyway, so that campaign obviously very effective because everyone's talking about it.
Lots of fun people we've met here today, by the way.
8664 Aliyah for Nefesh B'Nefesh, like.
Well, we saw Nachum Joel at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Before the show was on, actually.
Nice gentleman.
Yes, he was wonderful.
He's a Maccabee, by the way.
He is a Maccabee.
Yeah, just because you think he's a regular guy. No, he's a Maccabee.
Right. And it was great to see Jamie. She is enjoying her Aliyah, that is for sure.
Jamie Gell is one of the happiest people I ever met. She's always happy.
We still like her, though.
I know. I'm saying.
Okay.
My tendency would be to not, but she's just so
right,
happy.
right. She's legitimately happy. And by the way, as always, we need to thank Yael Katzman. We need to thank Tani Kramer, Ari Shuchman, everyone who's behind the scenes here at Nefesh B'Nefesh. Make sure that we are totally set up. And Zalman, of course.
Whose name used to be ZK till you started calling him Zalman a couple of weeks ago.
I did. Only when I'm angry with him. Zalman?
I don't know why you switched it back to Zalman.
I don't know. It's fun to call him Zalman.
If you want to see the video of everything going on here, just go to NachumSegal.com right now. Go to NachumSegal.com right now. This is the Nachum Segal Network. We'll continue with this hit. If we're doing an Aliyah show, we got to do this song. Simple as that. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen in our audience, we have had some distinguished guests here today. We have had some incredible guests here today, some of the icons of Israeli society. But we have not had, till this point, here, look at the camera. We have not had till this point, according to my son, the most well-connected person in the world. That's what he claims. Yosef Siegel says that Shachar is the most connected person in the world. That's the impression you made on him. Shalom, welcome back to the Nachum Segal Network.
Shalom, shalom. Thank you for having me.
I want to remind everybody, Shachar is can we say the official photographer for Nefesh B'Nefesh? Would that work?
Of course.
Yeah, official photographer for Nefesh B'Nefesh. Lift that up a drop. This is a very exciting week. We have the mega event today, and then Tuesday, you know what happens in Israel? You know what happens?
Big elections.
It's big election. It's a day off, right? Is it a day off on Tuesday?
You see, so if you will make it on time, if you make Aliyah today,
you can make it to vote.
You can vote on Tuesday.
He's kidding, folks.
That's no wait. It's the only state. As soon as you go in, you become a citizen and you can vote. Over here, it will take you a few years until you can vote.
Right.
But in Israel,
It's
if you make Aliyah tonight, it's Sunday night. Go tomorrow, make Aliyah, and by Tuesday you can vote. And you can vote for the right person. I wouldn't say right, but I'm saying to the vote.
Did you just say right, Shachar?
No, I'm saying to the right person.
I'm kidding. Are you going to be in Israel Tuesday, or you're going to miss the vote?
I'm going to miss the vote.
You will miss the vote.
That's
you
actually
have important work in this country. You can't be everywhere, Shachar.
I cannot afford it. But
It's
that's a big
impossible.
issue actually about Israelis who lives outside of Israel, if they should vote or not.
Right.
We don't have, not like Americans that regardless where you're going to be in the world, you can vote during election.
Correct.
Israel is only officials, only diplomats, can vote.
Otherwise, you have to be in the country.
You have to be in the country in order to
And
vote.
you were thinking, should I go back, this and that, but you said,
in the 90s, actually, with, if you remember, Tower Hair.
Right, sure.
They used to do like
The election
special, $150.
Even Shachar knows about Tower. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So me and all the Hasidic guys with the Vizhnitz Hasidus, we used to go to Israel.
I love it.
For some reason, they used to go with a bunch of IDs. I don't know how they made it, but it's a whole different discussion.
Shachar, don't give away all the secrets. Come on.
It's a whole different discussion.
Unbelievable. The most recent time you were with the Prime Minister was how many weeks or months ago?
Actually, when he traveled to the UN, when he traveled to the United Nations.
You saw him during that trip?
Yeah, of course. I traveled with him for a few days, and I didn't have a chance to go with him to DC. But
how was his demeanor back then? Was it all right? Was he okay?
Back then, when he arrived to the U.S., he has I think Obama said once, actually, in a private meeting, that if Netanyahu would be American, he would be a Republican. So obviously, he has his own teams running after him, over here in the States. But
he does have a lot of Republican fans, you have to admit. Especially in Congress. A lot of Republican fans for the Prime Minister.
Of course.
But they don't vote in the Israeli election.
Not yet. I'm sure he'll be very happy to have another star on the on the American flag, and then we'll solve all the problems. But
no, I don't see that happening in the near future. Wow. Tell everybody in this audience how wonderful Sukkot was in Lower Manhattan.
Oh my God!
Wasn't that an amazing Chag?
I can't remember this guy who invited me to his sukkah, but I had a wonderful Sukkot with great people. It was a
good menu, right? Good menu, nice food.
I can't complain. Looking forward for
it was really
the next
beautiful.
one. When is the next one?
The next one is next Sukkot, believe it or not.
What about Passover? You don't invite me for
are
Passover?
you going to be here?
For the second one.
That's it. You're in.
That's it.
You're in.
Beautiful.
Saturday night, second Seder. Shachar is choosing our home for his second Seder. I love it. Oh, we can't wait to welcome you there. Also, you plan on being on the next Nefesh B'Nefesh flight, which will be a charter flight this coming summer, right?
Of course.
You'll be on the big flight. It is I know you've done this 100 times, but it is an experience that has, I don't know, it must send chills up your spine every time it happens.
First, I'm sure Prime Minister Herzog will be there, and will greet us at the airport. What?
Go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
We caught that.
Okay.
Prime Minister Herzog. Is he a big pro Aliyah guy? I hope.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
But there's an excitement.
If you look at his record, the guy, his father was the president of Israel. His grandfather was the chief rabbi. It's a real, But to be honest, each and every, I think this will be the 51st, 52nd flight.
51, right.
51. Each and every flight is such a special moment because, we live every day, we go to Israel, we visit Israel. But the fact that you move to Israel, you go to Israel, and over there, as soon as you land, you feel belong.
It is incredible.
And it's a really, really incredible feeling.
Incredible. 2 quick sports questions. Were you shocked New England beat Seattle?
No.
And secondly, are you aware that there's a soccer team in Yankee Stadium today?
Yes.
What do you think
they're
of that?
playing 5 o'clock.
What do you think?
Playing 5 o'clock. That's it, That's it.
Kadurregel in New York.
Wake up, America.
That's
it. Wake up. Only in America, you go to the World Series, and it's only American, teams
they
playing.
call it the World Series.
Exactly. So come on, guys. It's like, or football, you play with your hands. So it is like, there's
something wrong here, huh?
Exactly.
Shachar, you're the best.
Thank you very much.
Toda
Looking
rabba.
forward for second Seder.
We'll see you at the second Seder, and we will, of course, hopefully see Shachar in Israel in the next Nefesh B'Nefesh flight. It's amazing.
With Prime Minister.
With Prime Minister fill in the blank.
Here we go. Enjoy.
Prime Minister fill in the blank.
Thank you.
You're sitting next to Shachar? No. I sit next to Shachar on the flight. It's as simple as that. I don't give it up. Chag Sameach and Toda Rabba. There he is, the legend himself. If you're wondering who Israel's #1 photographer is, it's Shachar, everybody. He's the #1 photographer. He travels with the Prime Minister. He travels with the President. He's the one who documents everything. And, of course, he loves to be a commentator for us here at the Nachum Segal Network, and we thank him for that. More coming up. This is the mega event, the Aliyah mega event at the Crown Plaza in New York.
נצאנה אל המוסתה, מור ושמים ולבונה לרגליכם יפתה לילה יורד מעל ברוח שושן אנושבה הבה אלך אשלח שיר בלב זמר של אהבה לילה יורד מעל ברוח שושן אנושבה הבה אלך אשלח שיר בלב זמר של אהבה שחר הומה יונה ראשכם עלה תללי בחיל הבוקר שושנה כתפנו לי לילה יורד מעל ברוח שושן אנושבה אשלח שיר בלד זמר של אהבה זמר של אהבה זמר של אהבה
ארץ תחול עיניו והשמש לה כדבש וחלב ארץ בה נולדנו ארץ בה נחיה ונשב בה יהיה מה שיהיה ארץ שנאהב היא לנו אם וו ארץ של העם ארץ לעולם ארץ בה נולדנו ארץ בה נחיה יהיה מה שיהיה ארץ 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 ים אל מול החוף ופרחים וילדים לסוף בצפון כנרת בדרום חולות ומזרח למערב נושק גבולות ארץ שנאהב היא לנו אם וו ארץ של העם ארץ לעולם ארץ בה נולדנו ארץ בה נחיה יהיה מה שיהיה ארץ שנאהב היא לנו אם וו ארץ של העם ארץ לעולם ארץ בה נולדנו ארץ בה נחיה יהיה מה שיהיה ארץ 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 התורה את מקורה ושפת האמונה ארץ 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 יקרה הן הבטחת שאין זו אגדה
Nachum Segal Network is live today from the Crown Plaza in New York City because the Aliyah Mega event, Nefesh B'Nefesh, is taking place. Daniel Eisenberg, you may recall, we were with him. I can't say he was with us. We were with him when he was actually making Aliyah with his family on the July flight, and back all the way back in 2014, right in the middle of the war, believe it or not, in the sky. We were speaking with him in the sky between New York City and Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. Daniel Eisenberg, welcome back to the Nachum Segal Network.
Thank you so much.
Where are you living in Israel?
I'm living in a community called Neve Daniel.
Oh, of course.
We're 20 minutes south of Jerusalem,
Yeah, in the
the Judean hills. Loving it.
How has the adjustment been so far?
So much better than we could expect it. We came, we were welcomed by a whole community. We everywhere we went, people are singing with us. Our kids are.
It was not just at the airport. Huh?
Not just at the airport. It was at the airport. There was barely anybody there.
Oh, that's right. You were part of the scaled down version of the welcome in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember that.
And the kids started going to school. They're speaking Hebrew already.
How old's your oldest?
My oldest is 10.
Wow.
And I've got another boy, he's 5, and a baby, he's 2.
What about employment? Were you able to find something in Israel that you're enjoying?
So I was concerned what was going to be coming to a country where I worked in the States as a chiropractor, but
Right.
I got run over by a bus. So that's sort of...
Oh, right. We talked about that, right.
It ends a chiropractic career.
Right.
And I knew I was going to go to Ulpan. But I was also looking for something, when I'm not in Ulpan to keep me busy.
Right.
So I have what I call a Nishabas Geretten job.
Which means?
I was invited to someone's house for lunch, maybe my second week there. And he's asking me, what do you do? I'm like, this, Nishabas Geretten, that. At the, Kam Avdallah, I have a part-time job. I work for a company that helps Israelis and Olim who have money in foreign currency but need to bring it over in shekels.
Right.
And we do the conversions for them a lot cheaper than the bank.
Phenomenal. I'll tell you. How incredible is that? A couple of weeks into your stay, and you're already employed.
It's, they say, results not typical, but we are so happy. Everything that we thought would be is even better. So I give a bracha to anybody who's thinking about Aliyah. It is possible, and you can live the dream.
Amazing. So education-wise, kids are doing well.
Kids are great. They're in public school.
Right.
And they're learning more than they were learning, when I'm paying, thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
They're very happy.
It's one of the benefits of moving to Israel, the savings and tuition.
It's real, and the schools are excellent schools.
So education, kids are doing well. Parents are happy with their jobs.
Very happy.
And life in Neve Daniel, as you described, very comfortable, nice.
It's great.
As good as can be expected.
We went from a small apartment in Riverdale to a large home with a big yard. It's an upgrade
What's the
in
snow
every way.
like in Neve Daniel?
So,
and were you smart enough to bring a snow shovel?
So not only did I bring a snow shovel, I brought 3 snow shovels.
I remember this, right.
So this way that all of our neighbors can have, shovels also.
The only clear walk in Neve Daniel, right?
Yeah, but Israelis go nuts.
I know.
For with us, it was just like a little flurry. For them, they're canceling school for 3 days. So the kids love it.
To watch that panic, either there or here, of the Israelis and Jerusalemites go nuts about the snow is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny when you see what goes on and how a little bit of snow, brings everything to a grinding halt. But we as Americans get to appreciate it.
Definitely.
What can I tell you? Well, thanks for joining us here today, and welcome back.
Thank you so much.
And are you part of the official Nefesh Nefesh delegation? Or are you?
No, I'm here.
You happen to be in New York?
I'm representing my company here for the mega event.
Very good. And that company would be?
Isra Transfer.
Isra Transfer, it's called.
Yep.
You need currency of any type, transfer to Shkolim, you'll take care of it.
Yep.
Is there a
Special
website?
rates, IsraTransfer.com. Special rates for anybody who's making Aliyah this summer.
Ah, I like that. ZK, keep that in mind. If you need to be paid in shekel, this is how it's done. Daniel, thank you. We'll see you in Israel soon enough. Can't wait. Daniel Eisenberg, everybody, now a recurring role on the Nachum Segal Network year after year, as we've been following everything to do with the Eisenbergs, including their shovel gemach. That is really helping out the people of the Neve Daniel during a snowstorm, I can tell you that much. More coming up. This is the Nachum Segal Network as we broadcast live from the mega Aliyah event with Nefesh B'Nefesh. Here's a classic from Ofra Chaza.
רבות מספור. אני שואל ומתפלל, טוב שלא עבדה עוד התקווה. עובר מזמור מדור לדור, כמעיין מאז ועד עולם. אני שואל ומתפלל, טוב שלא עבדה עוד התקווה. חי, 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 כן אני עוד חי, זה השיר שסבא שר אתמול לאבא, והיום אני עוד חי, 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 עם ישראל חי, זה השיר שסבא שר אתמול לאבא, והיום ימים ימיי ולילותיי, ובשמיים עמוד האש עוד קם, אשיר בלי די, אפרוס ידיי, וידידיי אשר מעבר ים. אני שואל ומתפלל, טוב שלא עבדה עוד התקווה. חי, 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 כן אני עוד חי, זה השיר שסבא שר אתמול לאבא, והיום אני עוד חי, 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 עם ישראל חי, זה השיר שסבא שר אתמול לאבא, והיום שמעו אחד, אני עוד חי, ושתי עיניי עוד נישאות לאור, אז כל לחי, לכל אור חי, ולבניי המבקשים לחזור. אני שואל ומתפלל, טוב שלא עבדה עוד התקווה. חי, 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 כן אני עוד חי, זה השיר שסבא שר אתמול לאבא, והיום אני עוד חי, 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 עם ישראל חי, זה השיר שסבא שר אתמול לאבא, והיום אני חי, 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 אני עוד חי, חי, חי.
Oh, yes, we're meeting some amazing people here today. Meeting some amazing people, most of whom must remain in confidence. There are people who come to the mega event, as Miriam Wall can attest to. There are people who come to the mega event, and their friends, their family, their place of employment have no idea that they're exploring the option of moving to Israel.
Yep, not at all.
I'll give you an example. ZK is here today. His family, his friends, and his place of employment have no clue that he wants to move to Israel. They have
His
no
friends and his family don't know that he knows half of the Tzioni songs you've been playing during this show. It's like a Yom HaAtzmaut Chagiga right now.
If I told you ZK's roots, you would be shocked that he knows every song we're playing here today.
Trust me.
He drifted into that whole scene afterwards, or whatever. Well, that's for another discussion.
He's even more excited on these flights than we are. We just don't want to. We don't want to ruin his street cred.
That's right. You should see him in Israel. I was with him walking through the Shuk back in August of 2013.
Good times.
And we were in front of the Halavah stand, and all of a sudden,
gravity took over.
One of us fell, and ZK was like, "No, not here in Israel. No, come on, not here in Israel." So what? Oh, that's what he meant. I thought he meant that he's such a Zionist and he wanted to happen in Israel. Oh, he meant not
on your watch.
Not thousands of miles away. That's what he meant.
Otherwise known as "Who's going to tell Miriam?" Right. Exactly.
You were standing there.
Nisht.
ZK, get on the air and tell her she was standing there when I fell.
Oh, I wasn't. Yes, I was there. You're right, but I wasn't there when you decided to go to.
You were there at the fall.
Right, when I went to the hospital, she wasn't.
Somehow or another, it's still your fault, though. By the way, it was very slippery. It was terrible.
Let me say the following, though.
You should know I had this vibe following you.
He always has vibes.
I was you're walking too fast.
He also had a vibe that I'd save his life when he had a kidney stone. That's a separate story.
Can I get a Rabbeinu Shalom?
Rabbeinu Shalom.
Thank you.
Now, I will tell you one thing. The funniest part of that story, ZK, I land in New York, go straight to the doctor because, got to go to an American specialist. And the nurse says, and I'm wearing this crazy sling put on me in Hadassah Hospital. And the nurse says, stay right there. So I said, aren't you going to take this thing off? She goes, no. I must have the doctor see this. I said, this wasn't done by a Jewish doctor. She says, are you kidding? The first time I saw it, I knew there was no way it was a Jewish doctor who did this. So anyway, funny story.
There you go.
From the medical thing in Israel.
Funny story also is that the doctor who treated me in Terem is featured in one of these Nefesh B'Nefesh.
No, imagine that.
I'm like, why does this guy look familiar?
The
Right.
The next time I see this
He
man.
put me on antibiotics. There you go.
The next time I see this man, here he is.
Yes.
The next time I see
He
this
saved
man,
my life.
I'm going to ask him.
He saved my life.
I'm going to ask him what it was like to have Miriam Wallach show up in the middle of the night.
Nope.
Desperate for some medical attention.
During the day.
It was during the.
It was during the day.
Not nearly as dramatic when it's during the day.
No, but then he
mine
really
was
won't
1
remember
a.m.
me. And it was on my pinky toe.
Oh. Oof.
I know we don't talk about feet and toes and whatever.
Can't even think about it. Anyway, it's this gentleman. So if you think that these Jewish heroes are fictional, no. Real people, folks.
How crazy was it
Real
Dan Eisenberg being
That's
here?
cool. That's very cool that he's here with his company.
Do you
not
remember-
only does he move to Israel, not only does he get a job, not only is he doing everything in his power to live life in Israel to the fullest, but in addition to that, ends up here as a vendor with a vendor at the Nefesh B'Nefesh mega event.
And his flight, that flight was, I mean, to say that was memorable is an understatement.
Well, you have to remember something. That flight was...
We had police accompaniment down the runway.
Correct.
I know.
That flight was in the middle. Were you on it or not?
No, that was our one day.
That was the flight in the middle of the war.
Correct.
That flight was, oh, right, we recorded, so you didn't have to
And there were police boats in the water as we were taking off.
In the middle of the war, and when we landed in Ben Gurion Airport, there was nobody
Yes,
there.
correct.
The airport was empty.
Except Rabbi Lau, who was giving
Correct.
brachot.
Rabbi Lau came, and some other government representatives, because they wanted to make sure that at least, something was there.
And who was at JFK to send them off? Who told the incredible story about his in-laws making Aliyah
During the Yom Kippur War.
during the Yom Kippur War
Ido
from
Aharoni.
from Los Angeles.
Right, they were living in L.A., right.
Correct, they were living in LA.
They left right after the Yom Kippur War to drop everything and move to Israel.
Correct,
right.
and so he gave, and now they have grandchildren who are serving in the IDF,
Right.
and he told this unbelievably inspiring story to this group of Olim.
Correct.
It was very powerful.
Reminiscent of our very own Mayor Weingarten, who when the Yom Kippur War broke out, Motza'ei Yom HaKippurim, he and his family flew to Israel.
Unbelievable.
And remembers how all the lights on the plane had to be shut.
Shut.
They were flying in the dark over Israeli airspace so that the enemy would not be able to detect the plane, and that is something.
That
isn't
is it. You see ZK? He's
perfect for my nerves.
That's all right, ZK. We're looking forward to our flight this Motzei Shabbos,
Well,
right?
oh my
Me
gosh,
and you.
It's this Saturday night.
Me and you.
This Saturday night, we're scheduled to fly to Israel, and we'll be there for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I'm sure you'll be sleeping well, especially after the marathon.
I hope so.
Right after the marathon.
I hope so. He's wishing me well for my flight. And then we'll be back in the United States Thursday morning, and then we'll start getting ready for the holiday of Pesach. But first, we're going to be at these amazing events that are happening in Israel, which is really cool. So we are we're increasing our connection to the Holy Land.
There's no strikes on the horizon in Israel.
Oh, don't worry, there will be. Don't worry. I guarantee you by next Wednesday night, someone will be on strike.
Well, let's see what happens during the election. Then we'll make a decision.
You know what happened to me with the whole TSA and all that, right? FAA, TSA.
He wasn't on that flight.
There was a couple of times that we were in the airport that there was a strike in the.
Correct.
No, this was a whole different level of crazy.
They prevented me from going back from Israel to the United States. They were really staunch Zionists. They didn't want me leaving Israel to go back to the United States.
That was it. And there was at Seva Adom while we were in Ben Gurion.
Thank you, FAA. FAA tried to teach me a lesson. The next day, I'm flying over the Alps, landing in Switzerland, and connecting to the U.S. Simple as that.
There's a story every time.
There's always a story.
On the way back only, usually. There's always some type of story.
Could you check the weather forecast? Because I'm assuming if we're there, it's going to be pouring the whole time.
Do you remember when ZK thought he had a lightning strike, but it was a bird strike?
It was a lightning strike. Trust me. Let's go to the El Alston.
I told you. I spoke to a steward who was on that flight, and they said it was a bird strike.
Right.
Oh, the bird strike is not such a big deal, right?
Here we go.
Maybe we should turn the camera.
Now let's compare airline disasters. Now let's compare airline challenges.
Oh, my gosh.
I wish you have a very safe and easy flight, Motzei Shabbat, very smooth.
We're on the same flight, right?
We are
no,
not,
you
are
and
not
I are on the same flight. Nachum is not.
I'm going from Newark.
You're going from Newark?
Yes.
How are you going to get there on time?
Okay, you know what? You don't do things like that,
I'm
Debbie
gonna
Downer.
I'm going to beg them to hold the plane.
It's going to be fine. But you and I, that's it. Me and ZK and my bottle of red wine, that's going to be fine.
Should be very interesting. More coming up. This is the Nachum Segal Network live from the Aliyah Mega event with Nefesh B'Nefesh.
בין הידיים עוד לא בניתי כפר, עוד לא מצאתי מים באמצע המדבר, עוד לא ציירתי פרח, עוד לא גיליתי איך תוביל אותי הדרך ולאן אני הולך. עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אמרתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי. עוד לא שתלתי דשא, עוד לא הקמתי עיר, עוד לא נתתי כרם על כל גבעות הגיר, עוד לא הכל עשיתי ממש במו ידיי, עוד לא הכל ניסיתי, עוד לא אהבתי די. עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אמרתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי. עוד לא הקמתי שבט, עוד לא חיברתי שיר, עוד לא ירד לי שלג באמצע הקציר. אני עוד לא כתבתי את זיכרונותיי, עוד לא בניתי לי את בית חלומותיי. עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אמרתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי. ואף על פי שאת פה ואת כל כך יפה, ממך אני בורח כמו ממגפה. עוד יש הרבה דברים שרציתי לעשות, את בטח תסלחי לי גם בשנה הזאת. תביני עוד לא אהבתי די, הרוח והשמש על פניי. עוד לא אמרתי די, ואם לא עכשיו ומתי.
Time for our final words from the mega event. Can we wrap things up?
I think we need to. There are a number of people who are supposed to be on, but they're running sessions, and it is a packed house here today. So every hand on deck here at Nefesh
And
B'Nefesh.
no joke, some of the people we thought we'd speak to today are not ready to publicly reveal that they're thinking of going to Israel at the moment.
It's, totally no joke. One after another. Either both sets of parents don't know or employers don't know. We must have run into 7 or 8 different potential interviews who would have been great had everybody been informed.
ZK's parents have no idea that he's moving this summer.
Neither does his wife.
His wife doesn't know he's moving
Oopsie
this
daisies.
summer.
Sorry to hear about it on the air.
Oh, well.
But that's life, as we say.
I thank... We know it. Everyone knows we're kidding. Oh, the not two did. He says the not two did.
Thank you.
Leave it to
Thanks,
ZK
ZK.
for the little boost.
There you go.
I want to thank everybody for watching. The video will be up at NachumSegal.com later today, or sometime in the next 24 hours. Video will be up. You'll be able to see the proceedings here at the Crown Plaza Hotel and the Aliyah Mega event. Audio will be up later today, correct? Audio will be up later today. You'll be able to hear everything that went on. And we thank everybody at Nefesh B'Nefesh. They're incredible. They're wonderful, wonderful staff, great partners with us. We are privileged to have been a partner so many multiple times in so many of their great projects, including this one today. Miriam L. Wallach, I thank you.
Thank you.
And time on a Sunday is not easy.
It's all good. For this, you got to be kidding me.
I know. Now I have to think about this the rest of the day, how I have to move to Israel as soon as possible.
Happy week 2 of the marathon there.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to give to the JMNAM fundraiser, jmnam.org, NachumSegal.com. Become a sponsor of ours and to make this a very successful week ahead. We'll wrap things up with this selection from Yehoram Gaon and close out a Nefesh B'Nefesh mega event webcast with us right here at the Nachum Segal Network.
בקסבה בחצי היום כשהשוק פתוח הייתי ככה סתם הולך והחזה מדוח כולם אומרים איזה קנון עובר בסמטאות עושים שלום מכל חלון כל הכבוד כולם היו יודעים אז טוב מאוד למי יש יותר כבוד כולם היו יודעים אז טוב מאוד למי תמיד למי יש יותר כבוד וכשהקרב היה בוער והכיתה לא זזה, המפקד היה אומר, אתה ראשון יא קאזה! כולם ידעו שקזבלן ראשון תמיד לצעוד, ומאחור הם צעקו, כל הכבוד! כולם היו יודעים אז טוב מאוד, למי יש יותר כבוד. כולם היו יודעים אז טוב מאוד, למי תמיד למי יש יותר כבוד. אחד הולך עם בחורה ביפו בן 40, אם רק ארצה אצלי תהיה ישר בין הידיים, אך לא אפריע לבחור שלא יתחיל לרעוד, כי זה אצלי פשוט פרינציפ, לי יש כבוד. כולם היו יודעים אז טוב מאוד, למי יש יותר כבוד. כולם היו יודעים אז טוב מאוד, למי תמיד למי יש יותר כבוד. אם בשיכור לאיזה בר אני אותו מרגיע, אף אצלי מן השעון ישר על ג'בליה,